welcome, Christian metal group. We are here today with the band Diatheke,
We'll take it.
something. Take it
Die by my
somewhere.
hand.
Close enough. Yeah, die by a hill to die upon. No, not a hill to die. We will get into that, and we will figure that out. So I'm Jimmy with the Christian metal group, and we have Jay. What's up?
That's right. I'm also with the Christian metal group. We're on the leadership team. We spend all day deleting comments.
We're doing a lot of work.
That's funny, but also true. So we have Peter here in Canada, and then we have Dallas, John, and Michael. You are in Kansas, correct?
Oh my goodness!
I'm just
Not in Kansas anymore. Not anymore.
I know.
Okay.
So where are y'all located?
I'm in Texas. Mike is in Texas, and John is from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So not Kansas. So we're not in Kansas anymore.
Kansas.
That's true.
Canada.
Awesome. Yeah. See?
Canada.
That's awesome. So we always like to start with a couple questions, and we'll start with Peter. And so did you grow up in a religious home?
Yeah. So I'm very grateful to have been raised by Christian parents. They always made sure to teach me of the importance of that. And I think it was when I got a little older that I kind of took it more seriously for myself and wanted to learn why I believed what I believed and that sort of thing. But I was raised in a good Christian home. Yeah, I had real good parents.
That's awesome. All right, Dallas.
Yes, I grew up in a Christian home too. I mean, in Texas, it's kind of hard to not, actually, especially in this area. But yeah, I did.
And does that mean you're also a football fan because you grew up in Texas?
Actually, my dad, so I was born in 93, the same year the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And, that's why my name is Dallas, unfortunately.
Wait, really? I guess I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
See, we learn something new every time on these interviews. That's awesome.
I keep my cards close to my chest.
Yeah, we'll just keep that between us. All right, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if I'm going to steal John's thunder for a second, but we're brothers, so we grew up the same way. But yeah, definitely a charismatic Pentecostal Assemblies of God type background.
Okay, John, what you want to add to that? And do you admit to being his brother still?
Yeah, Mike and I happen to have the same parents, so
we figured that out later in life, but yeah.
Yeah, very, very similar, obviously. My grandpa is an Assembly of God pastor, so that's my mom's side, so she grew up that way, and my dad kind of grew up the same way, so that's kind of been our upbringing, but we bounced around quite a bit, so I would say my parents at this point are maybe the non-denom charismatic light kind of foyer, but Mike and I have definitely evolved away sort of from a strict Pentecostal background.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have to get into all the details, but long story short, yes, we did grow up in a Christian home.
So is it true in church, did you do the airplane? Tell me you know what the airplane is.
I think best I know. Oh, best I know is the flags. I remember the flags a lot.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
flags.
Yeah. Yeah, but between Jay and I, we've attended many different denominations ourselves over the years. So
Yeah, I've played for a bunch of churches over the years.
Yeah, I personally did not take off. I did not do the airplane, but I've seen some pretty expressive things, to say the least.
Yeah, I grew up in Church of God, and that was pretty hardcore.
yeah.
That sounds like Church of God. Are those the ones that don't have instruments?
Yeah.
No, that's Church of Christ.
Church of
Originally, I'm
Christ.
from Church of God is like Church of Christ if you magnified it like 10,000 times.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like lots of yelling, lots of sweating. Um, but yeah, I grew up in the backwoods of Arkansas, so that was real big out there.
Interesting. All right, so let's talk.
Yeah, you.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
I was about to say, so let's talk about music. You all grew up in musical homes.
We'll go in the same order. So Peter and go.
Yeah, so I didn't particularly grow up in a musical home. When I was like 7 or 8, my grandmother bought me just a little acoustic guitar, and I just played it till I wore it out. And my parents replaced that one with a little Squire electric guitar, and I played that till I wore it out, and I just never put it down. So it's just something I at this point like always remember doing. But no one else in my family really played music. None of musical parents or anything like that.
Awesome. Dallas?
I did not grow up in a musical home. Nobody in my family. I mean, my dad was in a band in high school. He played bass, but growing up, he never had any instruments or anything. I mean, he showed me bands like Led Zeppelin, Kansas, just a bunch of classic rock, and Black Sabbath. That was kind of my first introduction into heavier stuff. But yeah, not really much of a musical household. Whenever I started playing guitar because Pantera was, I just one day, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was like the On Choice or On Demand, I think. Yeah, On Demand. There was a music channel, and it was the metal channel. I clicked on it. It was playing Cowboys from Hell.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what the heck? I didn't know a guitar could sound like that. Yeah, so I told my parents I wanted to get a guitar for Christmas, and they tried to talk me out of it, especially because I wanted to play, heavier stuff. My parents are very unsupportive of heavy music.
Okay.
So, but that didn't stop me. I didn't really care. Still don't care, as a matter of fact.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, but yeah, not much of a musical household. It's just something that I was interested in, and still continue to be interested in.
Yeah. Hey, we'll let John go first this time. How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah, so my dad plays a little bit of drums. Mom mainly just sings. So semi-musical household growing up, but I started on piano for a few years, and then when I turned 13, I wanted to rock instead. So I told Mom, hey, I'm switching to guitar. She's like, okay. So they got me this horrendous Ovation acoustic guitar. And if you know what Ovations are, they have that turtle shell back to them. So it's like a round back. It's not like a square back. So like there's no possible way you can hold this thing and it actually helps you play. So I kind of think that was to my advantage because I started on a very hard instrument. And then I eventually got, a classic Ibanez Geo, that candy red $200 piece of garbage thing.
Yeah.
But then from then on, I ultimately did bass more professionally just through college and all that. So that's what I lean toward the most is bass.
Okay.
Got it. And Mike?
Well, John, that's crazy because my dad also played drums, and my mom also sang. So I just remember John being really musical, and I think when I was really young, I wanted to be like a sports guy. Like I remember wanting to like be in the X Games at some point. I wanted to be Max from the Goofy movie, whatever that second Goofy movie is. Like I wanted to be him so bad. But all of the little league stuff moved to Sunday mornings. So Mom was like, "You got to find a new hobby." And so John was John was into music. So I said, "Well, I'll start playing guitar or bass or whatever." And I just didn't have the discipline for it at all. So then I moved over to drums because that's the one thing that John can't do. So I did that instead. And so, but my parents were obviously, I think that they wanted us to play like Christian soft rock. Like they just wanted us to be in something like Petra probably. And
Oh, yeah.
and we were like, oh wow, what is Disciple? This is changing our life. So that's how I got into more heavier type stuff too. But yeah, musical household to an extent, but didn't plan on it to be that way.
So obviously you're the drummer. What? So tell us what is John? What do you play?
I play bass and do vocals, but I write everything for Diatheke.
Okay, and Dallas
I play guitar.
and Peter.
Just those good old growl Cookie Monster vocals, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
love it.
So so give us a brief history. How did this international band get formed?
All right. Well, back in the day, Dallas, Mike, and I were in a band called Citadel. It was just a local North Texas thing. And we've always worked really well together. And then, time happens, different circumstances, fallouts with other band members, whatever. It all happens eventually. But I always had this grandiose album idea, which is now "And the Word Was God." That's what just came out. And I wanted it to come out, but I knew I couldn't do it without the right people. So over the course of time, I got reconnected with Dallas because I knew he was the only one who would tolerate any of my insanity with some of these just like guitar parts and whatnot. And then Mike, of course, always was there to help carry the vision forward, but we knew vocally we just could not do it. And the first couple of Diatheke singles were just either Mike and I, and Dallas was on some of the later stuff, but Mike and I tried to do harsh vocals, and we knew if we were to ever actually do this well, we had to get somebody else because we sound like you were putting a dog down, basically. Like, we're just not good.
Yeah, if you think that the early recordings sound good vocally, those are all studio tricks. They are not at all a representation of what we can do. It is a total manipulation of frequencies. It is not. We do not sound like that in real life.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it's pretty bad. So, but Diatheke had somewhat of a following, even in just like the first three singles or whatever, from like 2018 to 2021 or whatever. And so there was this group chat that was made. You guys know who like Sean Ely is from like Kingdom Core and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, so he made a little Facebook group and included Mike and I in it, and they were pressuring us to no end to get this guy who is called Elephant Watchtower to do a split EP with us, and that guy is Peter. And we're checking his music out, and all three of us were like, dude, this guy would make Diatheke so good. Like, he's
Yeah.
got the tone we want. He writes pretty much just like us. So, kind of out of the blue, I just messaged Peter and be like, dude, do you just want to be our vocalist? And then Peter agreed to it. And then the whole meme of we literally got pressured by a Facebook group to add a vocalist to our band. And it was exactly what we needed. It was the most hilarious, unironic thing ever. So that's how we all met.
So it's under peer pressure, right?
Love it.
Yeah, our fans bullied us into making our band 10 times better.
That's so good.
That is wild. I love it though.
But I remember Elephant Watchtower, and I'm like, what is this? Where is this name? I never heard anything about it. And of course, whenever there's a new band that gets posted, we have to do research. Is this a Christian band? You know, if it's
yes.
in a group and all that. But I remember that. That was that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was, just kind of making music on my own kind of deal, right? And
Yeah.
and like, that's fun that there's something to that, but I never had any intentions of joining a band or anything like that. And even when John called and initially asked me, I thought he was going to call and just ask me to like feature or do something like that. I had no expectation of him asking me to be a band member. And so it was really like overwhelming initially, right? But I'm glad we did it. Very, very glad I accepted the gig, and the rest is history.
Oh, let's talk about extreme metal. Listening to your music, it definitely sounds like, I would say, modern extreme metal. But how would you categorize yourself it's almost a two-part thing. How would you categorize yourself as a band, and then also what got you all into extreme metal?
I think extreme metal is totally fair, terminology for what we do. I mean, I think we lean more into melodic death metal
Mm-hmm.
more than anything. But I am not huge on genre labels anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all pretty convoluted. But I think just general blanket term, extreme metal or mellow death is fine.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I feel like melodic death metal is where we kind of reside. Um, I think we got an angry interview from Angry Metal Guy telling us that we're like a metalcore band,
Oh wow.
and I was just like, I don't agree with that at all because it's like I don't think anything we do sounds like Eye of the Breather or August Burns Red.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think it sounds anything like Zayo either. So it's like I feel like we exist in that melodic death metal kind of vein with some clean parts.
Yeah, I think the singing is why people say it's metalcore.
Yeah, it's just so funny to me because it's just like, oh, like I'm not trying to make myself sound holier than thou or whatever, but it's like, or even John, but it's like, oh, we have a vocalist who can sing. You guys must be metalcore, and I'm just like, no, that doesn't mean we're a whole genre. It just means that there's just two people who sing.
Right.
I mean,
Uh,
well, they could, someone could have heard a song that had elements of metalcore, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm just labeling the band that too." You know how people are.
right. Oh,
So,
totally. I just think that it's just so reductive, right? I feel like the progressive melodic death metal, I feel like is the most encompassing. Um, but I feel like it all started with POD. I think for me, like like
okay,
listening to I think me and John when we grew up, I think Striper was a thing in the
Of
house.
course.
And I think mom always said don't listen to that, but we still did. And then maybe John won't think of it differently, but I remember us being too scared to listen to Reliant K because we thought that was too heavy.
oh
Nice.
my
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
word,
this story. They used to hide under their bed and listen to Reliant K.
no
Yeah.
way,
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
that's
So
that's
there's this,
hardcore.
we were living in Colorado, and there's this Christian bookstore. They had a sampler CD. Mom just got something, and it came with the sampler CD. And I'm looking on this track list, and number 7 or 8 was "Pressing On" from Reliant K, super old school
Oh
song.
yeah,
And like, I kid you not, that was the first time I ever heard any sort of gain on a guitar. Like
wow,
that beginning, it was like, what is going on? And then the drums kick in, and it's just, a typical pop punk beat. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever, but I know mom's gonna rip this CD apart if she finds out. So every day after school, I hide under my bed with my boombox and I loop that song over
that's
and over again. And that's what got me into metal ultimately. I was
you.
scared of Cookie Monster vocals at first. Now I listen to Abated Massive Flesh.
Nice.
You need a shirt. You need a shirt that says "Reliant K changed my life." That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I really do because yeah, they absolutely did.
That's awesome. Well, I want to play a little game called "Is Discogs.com correct?"
I love this game already.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
All right. So, is this correct? Progressive mellow death metal from Dallas, Texas, and Pittsburgh, New York.
Pittsburgh
Plattsburgh?
probably says Plattsburgh.
It does. I can't read. Plattsburgh. Yes. So, is there some truth to that?
Well, yeah, that's where Mike and I are from, is the Plattsburgh, New York area, which is
Originally. Okay.
very north country New York. But that was probably written before Peter joined, so now we're 3 city
Well, it
representation.
says members are Dallas McNeely, John Wesley, Michael Osborne, and Peter Watson.
Oh, okay.
So, all right.
Because John lived in Plattsburgh like a few months ago.
Yeah,
So yeah, he just moved to Oklahoma. So I guess it's only incorrect by like circumstance.
Okay. It says your first single release was in 2020, Day and Night. And then, let's see, you have released it says 8 singles, and in 2021 you released one compilation, and then your first album was released this year on Rottweiler Records, and the word was God. Is all that correct?
Not really.
No, not really.
Nice.
I think so, yeah. So our first song was Bereavement, and I think that one was 2018.
Yeah, it was January of 18.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
not even listed. Oh, it is listed on here as 2021.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So I think what the Discogs people are saying is that we had a compilation come out in 2021 where it had all of our singles from that time released on a vinyl record.
Uh huh.
And I'm wondering if they're making that like the official date for those songs.
Yeah,
Um,
could
but
be.
yeah, but Bereavement, Magnify, and Splendor and Day and Night are all in that compilation.
Yeah, I always read online people saying that that was our first album because of the compilation. So I see
Uh,
that a lot.
yeah, but it's not a full album, so yeah, that makes
No.
sense.
Right. I mean, it's literally just like it was an excuse to do a vinyl record. We're just putting songs on a plastic disc. I mean, that was it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Oh, well, that's fun. Awesome. What you got, Jay?
All right, all right, cool. So, live shows. How many live shows do you all do? With you all being in 3 different states, like when you all get together and like rehearse or anything like that?
We don't rehearse.
So everything that we have is tabbed out on Guitar Pro. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
I'm familiar with it.
Um, yeah, so it's like a software. It's basically where you put tabs in there and it plays it back with MIDI, so you can have all the instruments in there. So
Interesting.
we all practice with that, and then live we have in-ears with the click, so it'll sound pretty much exactly. If we practice with the Guitar Pro, we can get together and play live with the click, no problem.
Interesting.
So we normally do a couple of rehearsals, like if we're going on a tour or whatever, we'll do a couple of rehearsals before we hit the road, just to make sure everything's working and that everybody's on the same page. But yeah, getting together for a rehearsal is a huge pain in the neck, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we did. We've only been a pretty new band when it comes to the live setting. So we did one tour earlier this year in end of May where we did 4 shows. Basically went to what is it, Kentucky and back to
Yeah.
Dallas.
Okay.
Um, and rehearsals for that were a lot of fun. And the whole tour was fun. And unfortunately, I mean, Peter wasn't able to join us just because Canadian law and American law don't like each other that much. Um, and but we had this massive TV with Peter on it, so he was like our digital vocalist every night.
Wow.
It was like it was a, you could look at videos of it on our Instagram.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the way we could make Peter represented live for that tour. But next year we're gonna have Peter be able to join us a lot more. So
Okay.
um,
That'd be
shows will just becoming more expansive.
Yeah, that's awesome. John, so this new album, is it, would you consider it a concept album?
Absolutely.
So yeah, give us a little detail on that.
Yeah. So Mike and Peter did a really good job conceptualizing something like very grandiose, something probably you should not do for your first record. But it's essentially an overview of time itself from the biblical worldview. So, as the song titles suggest, it kind of brings you through this bird's eye journey of like what happened with the creation of everything, all the way up to, when Christ is declared ultimately king over the whole universe and everything gets actualized with his kingdom and whatnot. So, it tackles a lot of themes, and every song is very different because it's trying its best to portray all of these different themes into just one big conglomerative story. So you have You have 6 tracks. It's an hour long, so progressive metal folks, you know, the shortest song is 6.5-ish minutes, I think, but the longest is like 13.
Nice.
So I mean, it's just big, explosive stuff that tries to relay all of these themes. It's pretty ambitious.
That's awesome.
Wow, man, that's super cool. Love it. So let's we were talking earlier about the style of music you all do. Um, what bands do you all draw inspiration from? Just overall, when it comes to writing music or even listening in leisure time.
Peter, do you want to start since you're the first?
Yeah, yeah. So like,
Or not? It's
yeah. Oh man. Well, I don't write any music for Diatheke, right? So my musical influences don't really play a whole lot of, a whole lot into the creation of our music. But like as far as lyricists go, I'm a big fan of Laurel Dane from like Nevermore. I like a lot of older
Oh
sort of
yeah.
Randy Bly, Lamb of God lyrics, stuff like that. Stuff sort of in that vein musically stuff like Meshuggah, all Devin Townsend stuff. Younger when I was younger, I would listen to a lot of
Oh
Cannibal Corpse and like a lot of old school death metal kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, that sort of deal.
yeah. And I love Devin Townsend so much, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. As a Canadian all day, I'll spare you of it now.
Oh, there. There's that.
And was anybody else going to answer? Or just...
Sure, I'll go next. I also don't do a whole lot of writing for Diatheke. John does all of that, but every now and then I give a little bit of creative input. My big influences, like I said earlier, is Pantera is why I started. I really like the groovy type of stuff, and but my all-time favorite active band now is the Black Dahlia Murder, and that is really the type of stuff that I'm into musically.
Hmm.
It's really melodic, just like relentless,
Yeah.
just doesn't stop. But yeah, that's the type of stuff I'm into.
Amazing live band for sure.
Oh, I've seen them live probably 20 times.
I've seen them
They
Wow.
are
twice.
they put on such a good show. They are my all-time favorite band to watch live. And unfortunately, Brandon Ellis isn't in the band anymore.
Hmm.
He's like one of my favorite guitarists, but they're still killer
Yeah,
either
they
way.
switched members so many times.
Oh yeah, I know. But yeah, they're great. Love that band. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are as far as heavy stuff. That's the direction that I like to go in.
Hmm.
Nice. Michael?
Uh, I uh, I l- I feel like I'm different. No, I feel like I'm on like a different
The
wavelength.
1975.
Yeah, I love the 1975 so much. They are like my favorite band. I
Not
listen to a lot
exactly
of like
deathcore.
like I love like alternative rock. I love indie pop, retro wave, like that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to like metal, I think Seven Horn Seven Eyes
Yeah.
is probably the Throes of Absolution is my favorite metal album of all time.
Wow.
I love that record. The slow, doomy, sludgy type stuff is kind of the vein I like, maybe more like gore guts and stuff like that. Um, but I obviously grew up on, well, not grew up, I guess, but like I was really introduced to like Becoming the Archetype and Living Sacrifice and Zayo when I was going into all like the Tooth and Nail type world of music. But in my general daytime stuff, I'm listening to like pop and rock and indie rock, and it's either I'm going back and forth between that stuff or the new Imperial Triumphant record, or
Oh God.
um, so like I really do love the extremes.
Hmm.
Um, but also like I love Meshuggah. I love the mainstays and stuff. So I'm kind of all over, but I'm definitely like an alternative rock, indie pop kind of guy.
Yeah,
Like Reliant
you know,
K,
I think
basically.
it's interesting. I love the band names you all bringing up. It's definitely some of the first times that some of them have been mentioned. Imperial Triumphant, another great live band, by the way. I've seen them. They came
Yes.
through here a couple years ago, and I was just blown away by
Nice.
by them for sure. So,
That's
And
awesome.
I feel late to the game because I only found out about them about a year ago
hmm
because a coworker shared them with me, and I was just like, I don't really know how to get into this yet, but man, it just clicked for me like a year ago. And their record, I forget, it's the one they just re-released, not Gold Star, but they just re-released an old record or something. But I absolutely like jaw on the floor, blown away by how experimental it was.
Nice.
Just
Gotcha.
incredible band.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
John,
sure.
you got anything to add? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge nerd, so most of my writing inspiration is going to be classically rooted. So I specifically love the Romantic era of classical music. So I'm going to name drop nerdy stuff, but like whether it's Claude Debussy or Maurice Ravel,
True.
kind of that French style, very outlandish art style.
hmm
But as far as like metal goes, I would say X-Toll by far
Absolutely.
is my biggest influence as far as writing.
Same.
And like we straight up rip them off. I mean, but it's hard not to because the way they do their chord progression specifically is just so addicting
yeah,
to me. But have you guys heard of the Human Abstract
I have
before?
absolutely.
No.
Okay, so they were the first ones that kind of kicked my butt into gear back in the day, where I was like, wait a minute, these guys shred like nobody's business, but they're very classically minded in how they write. So I took strong direction from them. And then as far as like stuff I'm into nowadays, um, I don't know. Do you guys know who Krallis is by chance?
I actually don't. That's one I haven't heard of so
No.
far. How about
They're kind of an underground, like New York City kind of band, but they are just pure chaos.
nice?
Like it's just like the most avant-garde extreme death metal stuff. Incredibly talented. I saw them live once in this place called Reno's Chop Shop in Dallas, which is just a hole-in-the-wall bar thing.
Wow.
And I literally thought I was gonna die. Just the sound they make was just so insanely overwhelming. I was like, you know what? I want to try to mix the extreme stuff with some classical stuff, but just really smart songwriting together, and that's what I hope Diatheke turns out to be. So that's my answer.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, John, real quick, I wanted to ask you, in addition to this band, can you give us a little information on Royal Diadem, and are you going to be doing anything else with that band?
Yeah, so Royal Diadem is my solo hard rock worship esque kind of project. I am currently almost done the skeleton of what the next record will be.
Okay.
It's just been a long time coming because I've had a lot of big life transitions recently with moving and just like a new career path and all that. So that slowed me down a little bit, but I finally have the brain space to write some more stuff for that now, which is really cool because what makes Royal Diadem fun for me is I have to choose not to be complicated,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, versus Deity, which is just let's just shove all of my nerdy brain stuff into it. And Royal Diadem's like, all right, how do I make this accessible and catchy and singable, right? So it's
Yeah.
just, I just like the two different worlds I get to have. But
Yeah,
long story short, yes, there is new music coming, probably next year though.
man, I
That's
love
awesome.
it, man. Yo, I want to go back to the classical influence for a second. So I'm totally into like some of that stuff too. I was classically trained as a pianist, or at least semi. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally, understand that. So I know one big band that was like really into classically trained stuff and Christian music was definitely Tourniquet. Um, that might be like too. That might be kind of old school at this point.
Yeah, just the good old thrash stuff
Yeah,
back in
yeah,
the day.
definitely.
Yep.
But yeah, Extol though for sure. Um, they definitely are one of the bands that a lot of the newer school bands are listening to for sure. What do you think about the Flesh Killer record?
Yeah, Flesh Killer record's really good.
I love it.
The thing with any offshoot X-Toll record is you're going to miss an element that you're used to in
Yeah, of
X-Toll.
course.
So, because Mike and I have talked about this, Flesh Killer is great, but because they do not have Krister in it,
Yeah.
the ugliness is not there. Because I think Krister, what he adds to X-Toll is makes them dangerous sounding. Whereas the other guitar player, Ola Borod, he's the pretty guy. Like he is the melodic, poppy catchy guy. So any sort of X-Toll offshoot, you're gonna miss some element that you're like, yeah, this is cool, but I just want X-Toll because it's the perfect conglomeration of all those
Right.
things,
That makes sense.
But I am sad they only did one record and then just went away.
Yeah.
I will be that guy and say I am completely content with Azusa. I am totally fine with Azusa.
Yeah,
Best X-Toll offshoot ever. I can't get enough of that band.
Nice. Oh yeah, they're so good. Now Flesh Killer is probably my favorite, but I think Azusa is a very close second for me.
Oh yeah, they're
For
great.
sure. And then of course just Ula's solo stuff. I love that too.
Mhm.
Doing like the Steely Dan type of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, he's
I'm
fantastic.
also huge into jazz for sure. So that kind of happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is next for the band? Like you were talking about maybe getting doing some touring next year. So you all just plan on having 2026 be a huge year for you. You got a new album. You working on anything? You started writing?
Yep. We're working on a new album right now, and next year we have some shows that we have lined up. We'd like next year to be busier than we were this year, but we were pretty focused on getting the album released this year. That was kind of a big hurdle, and John disappeared.
No, Peter.
There he is. Peter had to leave. That's right. Yeah, Peter had to take his wife somewhere.
Cool.
Oh
Yeah,
But yeah, next year we're hoping to do a lot of cool stuff. We have a show in Mexico at Exodo Fest.
Man,
it's about
that's
2
awesome.
hours
I
outside
love
of
that.
Mexico
Really
City.
cool.
Yeah, we've interviewed a few bands that's played there, and they had nothing but good things to say. Like, people in Mexico love their metal, so.
Really, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but it does make me happy hearing that you've talked to people and they said they had a good time.
The promotion I've seen and the people I've talked to that's been there, they say it is one of the really good festivals. So I think you'll be
Awesome.
pleasantly surprised.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I wasn't too sure what to expect. And next, our hurdle is trying to figure out, the equipment situation, because we have to go down there completely minimalist, and we still have to have our in-ears and our click and everything, because we tried playing this music, like just free-balling it with no click, and damn, it's impossible.
It didn't.
Yeah, it's bad.
It is really hard because there's just so many time signature changes, so many tempo changes.
Yeah.
Everybody's feel for what's about to happen is a little bit different, especially because we can't rehearse a whole lot. So having a click track is paramount.
Sure,
It is,
that makes sense.
But I'm trying to figure something out for us and make it very minimalist. But
you have to
I'm
connect with a band. We do have some connections down in that area. If y'all need to maybe connect a bar of gear or something like that, just let us know.
Yeah, I was going to try to find somebody we can rent an in-ear rig from.
Okay.
I don't know how many pesos that would cost.
Probably like 3. I mean, I don't know either.
I bring down my American money.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure. I guarantee, since it's near Mexico City, I guarantee there's a equipment rental place in Mexico City, so it shouldn't be that too big of a problem.
I would think so. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's great. I know the fans are looking forward to that. So Dallas, we'll start with you on this question. Tell us one thing about Dallas that the fans watching this may not know.
John and Mike got me kicked out of my church.
Oh my God! This is gonna be rich.
So I went to this church, and it was a Baptist church, and you know how those Baptists are.
Those Baptists, I know all about that. Those Baptists.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, we were in this other band called Citadel. I don't know how or why this church found out about it because it's like a big church. It was like a mega church basically. It was a very well known, like multi-campus
Okay.
church.
Yeah.
Anyway, somehow, and I was very involved with the church groups there, so I was in a few different church groups, um, and eventually one of the people that was in the lead of one of the groups I was in told the higher ups there that I was in this metal band and they showed it or whatever. And then they get all pissy with me and send me a text message.
Really?
Saying
Wow.
they said that I was I was disguising myself as the enemy, is the way they put it. And they told me that I couldn't come back until I quit the band or whatever.
So
and I was
over
like,
a text message, they didn't talk to you or anything.
no, they sent me a text message. They wouldn't answer my calls. They wouldn't let me
That's
go.
pretty
to
low.
It's okay. I mean, that is just enough evidence that it's not really a group that you want to be a part of anyway.
That's a good point. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I stopped going to that church and then I quit the band.
That's amazing.
I didn't quit the band because of that. I quit the band because I was focused on my career at the
Yeah.
time. You know, I think I was like 20 years old, 19 or something. I
Yeah.
was trying to focus on, my career and everything like that. But, yeah, other than that, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I teach martial arts for my job. I'm from Arkansas. Crud. I'm 5'5". My favorite color is blue. I have a dog named Princess Peach, like from Mario. And
Nice.
yeah. Let me think. What else? My shoe size is an 8.5.
That's great. Well,
My social security number.
Okay, all right.
that's so funny. All right, Michael, your turn.
I think maybe I'm blind in my right eye, but I was born that way.
Okay.
So if you hang around me long enough, you'll realize that I get scared very easily.
Especially if you sneak up on the right side.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you sneak up on me on the right side, you can scare me, and I will always fall for it. Like I'm a very jumpy person.
So I bet
So
John has experience with doing that. Look, he's not even gonna say anything.
no, like I've had so many like workplaces, not here because I don't work, but I feel like with like I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. That was my first job, and my boss would scare me every freaking 15 minutes, and I would always jump and like be scared.
Oh my god!
And all the other employees would like film it and stuff, and I'd be fine with it because it's like, can I make friends this way?
Yeah, right.
And but yeah, I'm a pretty jumpy guy.
Okay.
So if you ever see me on the road or whatever and you scare me, you get a 90% chance of me really being really scared. So
okay, good. That was.
But
I can say we've never had anybody say that before.
I want to throw something into this. Me and Mike used to work at that same job.
Oh wow.
We worked together, and he worked in the kitchen, and I was a server. It was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
And one day I came in and I got really, really sick, really, really sick. I don't know why I got sick, but I was like, I'm gonna go vomit right now. So I just sprint as fast as I can through the entire restaurant, go to the bathroom. I don't make it. I make it to the toilet, but I don't make it in the toilet. It like hits the rim and it like launches up and sprays all over the place. And then I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this. So I was like, this is embarrassing. So I get out of there. I leave as fast as I can. 5 minutes later, my boss, the one who was scaring Mike, calls me. It's like, hey Dallas, did you just throw up everywhere in the bathroom? And I was like, man, you got me. Yes, that was me. I threw up in the bathroom because I'm not a liar. I like to be honest, and obviously he knew it was me. And he said, okay, well, Mike's in there cleaning it up right now. And he's like, I need you to come back, and I need you to apologize to Mike because I'm making it scrub the toilets right now. And I was like, oh man, all the people, you're making Mike do it.
Oh,
I don't even think he knew that I knew Mike very well at that point because we didn't really talk about it or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he made me go in there and apologize to Mike, and I felt really bad for it. And
No, dude, what?
I didn't
Oh, you
tell
first.
Mike about this, but after he cleaned it up, I went in there and threw up again.
That's insane.
But this time I made it to the toilet.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Mike.
Oh, it's fine, dude. I was such a since that was my first job, I really wanted to do everything right and make sure that like I kept my employment and I had it, good with my bosses. So
You actually worked.
yeah, it actually worked.
So now Mike evolved till he doesn't do it.
But when he came up to me and was like, "Hey man, Dallas just threw up in the bathroom. Can you come clean it up?" I literally was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like anything to help." Like I was just like I was just helping, just do whatever. So like I didn't even require an apology. I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll put on some gloves, put on a mask, and just help my friend."
Yeah.
So
That's why you're a good dude.
Oh, man. Well,
That's why I
John,
went in there and threw up again.
you got to follow that. So
There's no way I could ever top that.
I'm sure John will say something that'll trigger a memory, and then I can bounce off that.
right.
John.
Well, I guess the first thing, I mean, this isn't really anything spectacular, but the first thing is, I'm a very closeted metalhead. Like, people are genuinely shocked when they find out I can withstand, like, slam metal and all that.
oh wow.
Like, they're just like, wait, you? Like, with the church I just came from, I was on staff there in New York. And yeah, when people found out eventually, because I do share stuff, with like Facebook and whatnot. When people found out, they're like, "Wow, John, I didn't know you had this in you." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me, all right." And they were just like, they could never see me the same. It's my favorite thing to do is just come off as this like super normal nerdy dude who like is just a typical whatever white guy, and they're like, "Oh, wow, you like that stuff?" Like, I don't know why, but I do. But I guess the more interesting fact is, for probably a solid 25 years, I never slept with a pillow.
Oh, God.
But that changed last year. What was that, Dallas?
That's my least favorite thing about you.
But I changed last year because I was the lawnmower guy at our church, and I did not wear a mask. I should have. So I got insane allergies from just mowing the lawn all the time. And the only way I could sleep during the night is actually having a pillow. So I did that for like 6 months straight. And then when I was over these allergies, I was like, all right, time to, pillow was cool, but, I got to stay with my roots, because if I sleep with a pillow, who even am I anymore? So I took the pillow away, and then I slept terrible that night. I'm like, I think I'm ruined. So I put the pillow back, and now I'm a normal person.
Welcome
I
to.
think I'm ruined.
I was about to say, welcome to being a normal person again. That's probably the oddest thing that we've heard on our interviews, right, Jay?
Right.
But Dallas makes a funny point because I never understood, but everyone that knew that, they say the same thing. That's my least favorite thing about you, and I absolutely hate it. Like, dude, who cares? You're not sleeping in my bed.
Well, that's a good
One
point.
time I did sleep in his bed, and he didn't have any pillows.
Oh, that is. See, how weird is that? We're just going to leave that without context too. By the way.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Dallas, how do you manage being in a band with somebody who doesn't use a pillow?
Oh man, well, I mean, it doesn't take up space in a car.
That helps.
He can sleep anywhere. It doesn't matter.
I can bring 2 pillows.
Like more for me, huh?
Yeah, I get a pillow for my head, and I get one to put between my knees.
There you go. Awesome.
That's
Well,
awesome.
that's
Well,
good.
cool. Well, here's a question, and we can go around. We can start with Dallas on this one. What is your favorite thing about being a Christian?
Favorite thing? Honestly, actually, we can get into a more serious talk now. So, for a long time, so I grew up in a Christian household, and then I went through some pretty rough stuff in my teen years,
Mhm.
and I lost my family in a home invasion in
Mm,
2011,
wow.
and so after that, I went through a lot of spiritual. I don't even know how to describe it really.
Yeah,
Just talking about it now is still really hard for me.
Of course.
sure.
Um, but so I went through a really hard time with my faith, and you know, I sort of had a hard time just dealing with it, and didn't go to church. I mean, I still to this day don't really go to church very often. It's hard for me to. It's just it's just a bit tough, but I struggled with my faith for a long time. Eventually, I came back around. Um, all things are possible through God and Jesus.
Mm,
That is a fact.
sure.
And and through years and years, up until just a couple years ago, right after COVID, I reconnected with John and Mike, and it started to make me reevaluate where I stood on my faith and what I was doing. And I felt like I had no purpose or anything. I didn't feel like I had much to live for. And then I met my wife. I had my daughter. I started thinking more about what I valued in my life and where I wanted to go and what I stood for. And I started praying again for the first time probably in 10 years. And after that, everything started to just become more clear. I felt more grounded.
Mhm.
I started reading the Bible again. I started just, uh, I guess, submissing myself is the way I want to put it. I felt like I was so focused on trying to control my own fate and trying to force my own path in this world.
Yeah.
And I realized that there was no point in that, and that the only way is through Jesus Christ.
Nice.
And then after that, everything just started to make a lot more sense.
Mm,
Everything started coming more easily. Everything I stopped trying to force things, going with the flow a little bit more easily. Was able to let go of a lot of anger and
Okay.
you know, just resentment towards the church. I mean, especially these days, a lot of people have resentment towards the church.
Mhm.
You
there's
can't really
yeah,
blame them. There's a lot of things to criticize and a lot of things to love about it too.
sure. There's a lot of church hurt out there for
Mhm.
sure, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's a fact. Um, but it's not the church that makes it the way it is. It's a very personal thing. It's a very personal relationship. You cannot just focus on the church. That is just a portion of it.
Yep.
And that's all I really have to say about that before I start crying, and I will die before I get you guys on video of me crying.
That's funny.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Michael.
I think I resonate a lot with what Dallas is saying. Completely different scenarios and situations. Definitely have a lot of, um, I think, a lot of bitterness from a lot of my upbringing with faith. And I think that I think the best thing about being a Christian is that this might be hard to word, but is that there's always something higher than what you think about a situation, because there's a way that, because the God's ways are so much higher than ours,
Of
that
course.
when you're open enough to view the world through how God views the world, it almost aligns everything up in the way that it should be. And I think that when I get really wrapped up in, well, this should be this and that should be this, and I just kind of sit down, I'm just like, you know, God's ways are higher than mine. And I think that when you, the best thing about being a Christian is God allows us to be broken enough to see the world the way that He sees it.
Mm.
And I think that once you tap into that, I view relationships different. I view people differently. I view institutions differently, and um, I think in my experience, the world kind of preaches this idea that the Christian worldview is very limiting. And I would actually argue the complete opposite. I think that the Christian worldview is actually very eye-opening to things that the world can't offer,
Yeah.
and I think that that's something that I'm continuously engaging in, and I think that also when you view the world through God's eyes, um, it actually it puts you in a position that the church hurt that you feel is actually something that God shares with you instead of feeling like it was something that happened to you.
Mm. Okay.
And I think that God is a suffering God. He is not a God um, that stands idly by. He's one that cries and mourns with the brokenhearted, and I think that that's something that encourages me and um, makes me actually feel like this omniscient God is actually on a personal level with me. And yeah, that's what I would say. Also, communion is great. The grape juice and the bread is really nice every week. So it's a good snack.
Nice.
Good to know.
Yes, me and it's nice.
All right, John.
Yeah. I think from an objective standpoint, the best part about being a Christian is knowing you have eternal life. 1 John 5 says it explicitly. He says, I write these things unto you that you may know you have eternal life. So whatever position you take of like how salvation works or like how God's love draws us to him, or if it's just our decision, whatever, no matter what conclusion you come to, just knowing that this life is not all you have is very comforting because it takes probably like a quick Google search or a 5 minutes of doom scrolling on Instagram to see that this life can't be all that it's made out to be. Like there has to be some kind of plan divinely orchestrated from the beginning of time itself to reconcile all things that are broken. So every point of injustice, every wrongdoing that has ever been done to anyone in this entire world will be justified at the end of all things because Christ, the ultimate judge himself, will make all things right.
Yes.
And we're part of that judgment too, unless we put our faith in Christ and his sacrifice for us alone. So we don't get to be judged through the eyes of what we've done or what other people have done to us. We get judged through the lens of Christ, which is the most liberating and hopeful thing that any worldview can have to offer. And there's a lot of different paths, there's a lot of different religions and philosophical types, but Christianity is the only one that can give you that assurance. Everything else is based on your own merit, how good you can do things, how much of a good person you can be, but the gospel says you are not a good person, only Christ is, and because he is, you are justified. So the best part at the end of the day, being a Christian, in my opinion, is one, it's historically objectively true. Like secular Christian, whatever scholars, like Jesus was an actual person in history. He actually did die, and there's enough evidence to say that he rose again. And just look at the societal impact from that. It was the church who founded hospitals, orphanages, universities. Like everything, every good thing in this world is from the love of Christ in some way, shape, or form. Even those who don't proclaim Christ, you're borrowing from the worldview and the result of God's love anyway. So I guess what it means for me at the end of the day, to, long story short, is I'm a child of the kingdom of God, and I know him and he knows me. And that's something that you cannot get anywhere else.
Wow, that's amazing. Great. Well, I appreciate that. Last question is, what can the Christian metal community do to help support Diatheke?
If you visit our link tree, we have all of our merch options in our record available. And we should be having some T-shirts uploaded to our Bandcamp, because there's two separate Bandcamps we have right now, one through Rottweiler Records and then one on our own.
Okay.
So we'll be able to make that clear on the link tree soon. But we still have some vinyl available on the Rottweiler site, and it's almost sold out. Anything that you can buy through there helps us dramatically. And just I know it sounds like something that gets overlooked a lot, but word of mouth
Yeah.
helps so much. I can't tell you how many bands I know just because someone told me about them. And so just letting people know who we are, and if you like the record, share it with somebody. If you hated the record, make a post about it, because someone else is going to listen to it, and maybe they might like it because you hate it. You know, so like all publicity is great, but sharing our music. And if there's a merch item, whether it be a vinyl or a T-shirt, we're sold out of CDs right now, but we should be getting more pretty soon. So, yeah, just if there's any way to buy an item or to share the record, it means the world to us.
That's awesome. Yeah. So
Super
support,
cool.
like, listen, buy merch, share.
That's right.
You know, go tell your friends, hey, there's this band. If you like metalcore and you can't pronounce the name, you're gonna love it.
That is the pitch.
Sorry,
Great.
I couldn't resist. No, y'all definitely need to check them out. I think you will be pleasantly surprised if you have not heard this band. Thank you for your time. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.